Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Chiefs win. Cry, Eagles, cry.
Great, excited to be back early.
You know, every day I got the Three Stooges in the studio with me is a good fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So let's make sure he gets that bag.
Frauds. Woo!
Justin's way ahead in picks. That's all that you need to fucking know.
Show's ruined.
Show's over. We're going home.
I would like to welcome you back to another page of the Playbook Sports Podcast.
Wide receiver and tight end draft. So we've done quarterbacks, we've done running backs. Now we're moving on to the wide receiver / tight end draft. We're going to do 10 rounds of 3 picks. Let's see, where did we? Oh, Colin's going 1, me 2, Addison 3.
What is that we're gonna do?
Yeah. So you're gonna go boom and boom. We're doing snake draft, obviously.
Okay.
So
with that.
Colin, you're on the clock with pick number 1. And this is tough because you said one thing in the car yesterday. So
I know.
you could be a liar.
My man of my word.
Do it.
Or you're truthing.
Or are you a truther? Where are we going, bucko? Huh?
I'm a liar
Shoot.
because I got to think about age as well.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And the guy I wanted is maybe a little older on the spectrum. However, I think not even talking about fantasy football, including it in this, there's just such a clear
Clear one.
difference in
Clear number 1.
positional value.
I agree.
So I thought about taking somebody else at 1, but I'm going to take Justin Jefferson,
J-Jet.
wide receiver,
Great.
Minnesota Vikings.
Love that.
Literally can't go wrong with that pick, right?
Carried my fantasy team until the championship game where
Yeah.
Jair Sundam.
He did. He owned his ass.
However, I do love watching this cat play.
He's so
Very,
good,
very
man.
good.
He's so good.
Be a homer.
I like that pick. Don't be a homer.
Be one.
No, I'm not gonna be a homer.
Be a homer, man. Come on. You know you want it.
I want it, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna have to go with.
No.
I think I'm not gonna take Kelsey if that's what you're worried about. I don't think I'm gonna take Kelsey.
I'm green.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna let you get him either on one of your wraparound picks or not because I think I gotta take Jamar Chase. No. Yeah, no, I'm gonna take Jamar Chase. I'm gonna take Jamar Chase here. Stud wide receiver. I can't be sad about it. Travis Kelce has been insane, but Jamar Chase has been in the league for 2 seasons.
You could say he regressed this year.
And his numbers were still
over 1,000
awesome.
yards, 9 touchdowns
Yeah.
in 12 games.
Yeah.
So I mean, how much of a
He's
regression? I
so
guess.
good, man. He's so good. And the Bengals, maybe they didn't make the right choice because like there was always that graphic coming out of the draft.
Yeah.
Like if Penei Sewell's blocking, Joe Burrow could throw it. But if Jamar Chase is wide open and nobody's blocking for him, which we literally saw play out in the Super Bowl, when on that last play, Jamar Chase is open, but Joe Burrow's too busy getting sacked.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase is an insane number 1 receiver. He's been that way since he came out. Addison, your wraparound
And the
picks.
crazy thing is both these guys were on the same college team.
I know,
Yeah.
of course they with Joe Burrow,
Yeah,
Joe
Joe
Burrow
Burrow.
throwing him the ball.
Of
Of course they were good.
Wow.
Man, now this gets interesting because we have arguably best tight end ever on the board. If not best, he's top 3.
Undoubtedly.
I've also got Devontae Adams, who you think maybe had a bad year. Too bad he had 100 catches on
He's
180
still
targets, 1,500 yards, 14
Oh
touchdowns.
yeah,
On a
stop.
bad year, but he was
Crazy.
nowhere to be seen at the start of the season. Where's Devontae? Oh, he's going to catch
He's
1,500 and
not
14
doing
touchdowns.
anything.
But then also look at Tyreek Hill, who
Yeah.
brings Tua to relevancy
Yep,
and above mediocrity.
definitely.
Puts him in MVP candidate.
1,700 yards.
7 touchdowns, and again, some of those touchdowns were not yoinked from him, but it's just touchdowns are such a weird stat, man. It's just that could have been 15, but it's also 7, which is still great.
I don't want to say it's a luck stack. but
No, it is.
It
I mean,
is.
Jamal Williams is literally the definition of why touchdowns don't matter. Because he is great and he scored double-digit touchdowns, but man, he's scoring them from the 1-yard line. Tyreek
Right.
Hill's 7 touchdowns are most likely all big plays.
Right. I mean, caught 120
Yeah.
passes this year.
Yeah, exactly. On 170 targets. So
Right.
you're telling me Tua threw it to him 170 times and only incompleted it 50 times. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
So what
Like
was your
51.
pick, Tyreek?
Yeah,
It's tough, but
It's tough.
It's tough because I got 3 right in front of me that
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, reunite the boys.
Oh.
Bang bang, take them right back and forth. Just love Kelce. Everybody knows that he's getting the ball. And he still gets the ball.
He
Still gets
still
wide
does.
open too. That's what I love, man. Everyone should be doubling him, and he's wide open.
Yeah.
And Tyreek Hill is just still insane burst, still
Yeah,
insane
it's still
speed.
so good, man.
He's small, but he goes up and gets it when he needs to.
played every single game this
He
year.
does piss me off with his body catches.
Yeah.
He's teaching Waddle to do
Waddle
that,
to
and
catch
that
with his
pisses me off
body,
too,
which is
man.
sad.
Go get those hands out there, but he doesn't have hands. And but give me Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and I'm running to
Yeah.
the podium to get those up there.
Yeah, those are great
That's a
picks.
fantastic back-to-back picks.
Yeah,
Mhm.
love those. And then I'm gonna take the guy you just got done talking about.
Yep.
I'm gonna take Devontae Adams here with my next pick. like you were just saying, I mean, his numbers, yeah, everyone's like, oh, he had a down year. He really didn't.
Yeah,
When you look at
straight.
his numbers, I mean, 1,500 receiving yards on 100 catches, 14 touchdowns, which we just said was kind of luck. It is, but I mean, Derek Carr was benched
Yeah,
and he was catching the ball from Jarrett Stidham too. It's like this guy is quarterback proof,
yeah.
insane talent. So give me Jamar Chase and then Devontae Adams.
Devontae Adams, when he's saying, "Hey guys, like we need to get wins or our season's over," he's the only guy that's out there actually like backing up his thought.
yes,
You know,
you're
Josh
right.
Jacobs as well. I'll give it
True,
that.
true,
But Devontae, like he's the only one that's backing it up, really.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. Colin, back-to-back picks here.
Yeah, a lot of good players left on the board, obviously. We have 9 more or 8 minutes to go.
Right.
It's tough, man. I was kind of thinking Adams would fall somehow. I don't know why I had this in my head. But I was like, man, I got Jefferson and Adams back to back.
That'd be a great
Awesome.
couple picks.
I'm gonna go with the guy who had a career year.
Mhm.
New scene.
Okay.
I'm going with AJ Brown,
Okay,
Philadelphia.
I like that. What's crazy to me is 1,500 yards on 88 catches.
Yeah.
88 catches. He had 1,496 yards.
That's
And
great.
what impressed me a lot about him this season was the durability.
Yep.
You know, when he was in Tennessee, he would miss a couple games here or there, ankle, hamstring, whatever it be. This year, focal point of their offense, you could argue Jalen Hurts' progression was
Yeah.
him bringing
Yeah.
him in.
Yeah.
As Tyreek for Tua.
And AJ Brown.
Whenever you have a young quarterback, you want to know if he can do it. You go get him.
You have to get him a
one.
weapon. You
You
have
have
to.
to, and we saw it this year with AJ Brown. They both benefited from each other this year.
Yeah.
Wraparound spot, a guy who might have gotten forgotten at the end of the year, electric receiver, triple crown 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
I'm going Cooper Cup,
Love
the
that.
great white hope.
Great pick.
on
He's
my
gritty,
right.
man.
He
He
is.
got a
Lunch pail
motor.
guy.
He's in
Lunch
first
pail
out last.
guy.
In
First
first out
down,
last.
last one out.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a
Cooper Kupp.
He's got grit. It's not about him. High
He really
motor.
does, man. Gotta
And
think
then you
it's
look at him and he's 6'2". Yeah, no, it's like what?
Then Whitey from like Eastern
Yeah.
Washington. Like, what is this guy doing?
Now I gotta look at value because there's a couple
Or
of
was
real
he
good.
Washington State? I always forget.
Who? Cooper Cup, Washington State.
Okay. Yeah. Was Clay Thompson Eastern Washington? Or was he also Washington State?
He might have also been watching.
He might
I
have
always get the
Washington
two
State.
mixed up.
And actually, now that you mentioned, I think Cooper Cup was actually Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
I think he was Eastern Washington. I don't know. One of the Washingtons.
Mhm.
They're all up there
Yeah,
hanging out.
they're all up there hanging out. It's kind of tough, man, because there's some really good tight ends obviously still available. We've only taken one off the board.
Mhm.
You know, Mark Andrews is a stud, but he had a down year. I really loved me some George Kittle. George Kittle was fantastic for my fantasy team this year with the touchdowns. He had 11 of them this year, but only
Those
765
last 7
yards.
games, oh
He was
my God.
unstoppable, a touchdown a game, man. Like I think coming into the year only had like 14 or 15 total touchdowns, and he had 11 this season.
Yeah,
It was
He
you
went-
called it too, that
crazy.
Seahawks game was just coming out.
That was it. Yeah, once he started,
Wow.
he started balling, man. There's obviously a ton of wide receiver talent still available. Like Deebo Samuel's still on the board.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf still on the board. DeAndre Hopkins is still on the board. Yeah, down season, but like there's just so much talent at the wide receiver position right now that I'm gonna do my homer pick. I'm gonna take Jalen Waddle.
Ah.
Jalen Waddle coming off of his best season by far. He ended up with 1,300 something yards. Let me look up the actual numbers for you
Yeah,
guys.
he had
here.
1356 on
Yeah.
75.
On 75
Yeah,
catches.
see, I'm pissed you took
170
him, 'cause I
targets,
was snagging him immediately.
18.1 yards a catch and 8 touchdowns. Like we saw the touchdown against Green Bay in week 16, I think it was, where he just caught a slant and he is gone.
Yeah.
The one against the Bills where he ran across the middle, he caught that ball and kind of came to a stance, looks like he probably caught it, but then he just outran everybody. Like he has unbelievable speed. And you can't teach that. That's something you literally cannot teach. You just have it. So I'll take
His average catch is 18 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come
Yeah.
on.
dude's a freak. Give me Jalen Waddle there, and I'm happy about that pick.
Screw you, man. Because I was grinning. I was also
You're
taking.
taking
I was
both of
taking
them.
your boys. I was taking
Oh,
both your
you
boys
dick.
if I could.
Oh, wow, so that's done, what you're saying.
Yeah. So with number 6, I'm gonna take CeeDee Lamb. I just love. Where's off his first down 7?
Mhm.
No, but I love the fact that he truly showed that he's a one this year. He really stepped into the role, losing Amari Cooper. Didn't slow down production. If something almost improved. Targeted 156 times, over 100 catches, 1,350 yards, 9 touchdowns. And this is also with Cooper Rush playing multiple games.
Mhm.
And he doesn't have the ability as much as Dak to go deep. But I just love CD, the growth and everything. I mean, he's just such a good up and coming receiver in the NFC. He's going to be there for a while, and he wears the 88 for good reason in Dallas. Now here's where it gets interesting, man, because Nate, you're not wrong. There's so much receivers options. I mean, we haven't even talked about Mike Evans, the guy that only
Right.
catches 1,000 yards
1,000
minimum
yards
every
season.
single season. But then there's also Stephon Diggs right there in Buffalo.
Right.
Looking at me right in the eye.
Mhm.
I mean, that's Buffalo Bills' #1 guy, and he's a monster. Oh, but I am going to pass on him strictly because I think this guy is just going to become more and more of his offense's focal point. He showed that he could be Debo-esque, and I think he could argue he might be better Debo just because of the youth, less injuries. I'm gonna go with Amon-Ra St.
I
Brown.
love that pick.
He's
Love
just
that
Jared
pick.
Goff's boy. 6 touchdowns receiving. I actually don't have his rushing touchdowns, but I'm pretty sure it was multiple. But he had over 1,000 yards, 146 targets, 100 catches, and he's just turning into their gadget guy. Turning into a guy that you can line up at running back and actually give running snaps to, like a handoff, not just some gadget play, jet sweep. No, he's turning into Debo. A little smaller, so there's question marks there, but I love the connection with Goff. And I love the future. I mean, he's going to be the Lions offense. I mean,
Yeah, he is, man.
Williams is going to be Jameson Williams will have a
Yeah.
deep ball, but Amon-Ra is going to be everything
He's that
underneath.
dude.
He's going to. There's a reason on Prize Picks if you pick his receptions, it's over 7.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the man's going to get 13, 14 targets a game and multiple touches on top of it out of the backfield. Give me
Oh,
Amon-Ra.
Yeah, I love
Don't
that
want to
pick.
spoil a thing we're gonna do here in a little bit, but just remember those back-to-back picks you had. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
CD, yeah, they went same draft, didn't they? No, they didn't. We'll get to that. But then you left my guy. I was hoping you weren't gonna take him, and you didn't for me. But Amon-Ra was a great pick, so I can't. Either way, I was gonna take one of these two dudes. But I'm taking Stephon Diggs, here,
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
I know. man.
1,400 yards this season, a quiet 1,400 yards and 11 touchdowns. I mean, the guy caught 108 passes, played 16 of 17 games. He has progressed Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He has,
You
ever
said
since
it.
he arrived, Josh Allen became Josh Allen. Before that, he was borderline looked at as a bust. The accuracy issues were clear. Now he has a wide receiver who's getting open all the time. And
Yeah.
ever since then, he has taken off. And yeah, Stephon Diggs is a stud.
Well,
I hate him.
Only reason I stayed away from Diggs because he is just pure talent, a top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
It's been multiple years of losing and not meeting his expectations, man. In Minnesota, things blew up, and I understand it was the playoffs. I understand it's heated. I understand you're losing, but him yelling at Josh Allen on the
Yeah,
sidelines,
that's ugly. He's
saying, "Get it to me, man," because like Joe Burrow slinging it in the snow and everything, and you're slipping the balls low to me.
Yeah.
If they don't come out and are this 14-3 team, 13-4 team, dominant AFC East
Mhm.
championship division winner, what's this going to turn into with
Right.
Stephon Diggs? Because
Right.
he shows he's an emotional guy. He wants to win. The
Diva.
passion's there, but it turns into toxic locker room.
He can.
And I just was the first big crack in the foundation implemented this last year, losing to the Bengals at home after
And
the
now
DeMar.
showing up,
Everything's riding for him, the whole momentum.
barely
and it's-
escaping the
and it's,
Dolphins.
you know,
division over a wild
You
card
love
round.
Josh Allen, you love to see him, but then you see stupid interceptions, you see fumbles. He does run the ball a lot. Stephon Diggs does get all his numbers, so I don't know if it's production, but it's pure winning. And if they come out and struggle, what's that turn into?
Yeah, I agree, and I hope it turns into horribleness. Personally.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I do like the value of him as a talent.
Yeah,
And a
100%.
wide receiver himself. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Colin, back to back. What you got?
All right, first pick here, a guy we've already talked about. We'll see what his production looks like going forwards.
Mhm.
But Mr. 1000.
Yep.
Taking Mike Evans.
Yep.
I mean, even with Jameis Winston throwing the ball, man,
Yep.
he's a stud.
Yeah.
Even with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
A&M for a
yeah,
while.
man. I mean, he made
He
Manziel
made Manziel,
arguably.
yeah. Manziel may play with his feet, but he's throwing to a 6'5" guy that's always open.
Yeah,
Right.
very easy to do that. I like that as a first one.
Wrap around here, I'm taking a guy who I think has the strongest hands in the league. I'm talking about a guy who was dominant. I'm talking about a guy who was part of the worst trade, in my opinion, in NFL history.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about a guy who made the Hail Murray happen.
Yeah,
I'm taking DeAndre Hopkins.
yeah, that's a great pick. I
Love
think
that.
he's kind of slipped down our boards just a little bit because of
Mhm.
recency bias. But man, when he's out there, guy's insane.
Taking Mr. PED myself.
Yeah, I said, like we brought it up for the Cardinals, man. They were abysmal without him. Their offense sort of comes to life with him, and then Murray goes down. But in his 10 games, he put up good numbers.
He got traded for David Johnson,
Oh, horrible
Yeah.
who
trade.
maybe had half of a good year in Houston, if that.
Just a horrible trade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot. DeAndre Hopkins was something I was gonna take next. You're kind of a dick for that one.
I mean, it's 717 yards, 9 games, 3 touchdowns, and I want to say at least 5 or 6 of those are without Murray because
Yeah.
ACL.
Dude was a stud, man. Makes my next pick a little bit tougher. I've got some options. Deebo Samuel's still on the board. But his season, I went to go look at his numbers. It was very a down season for him, honestly. Like on a team that played as well as they did. He only had 232 rushing yards and a couple touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns in the receiving. He only had 630 receiving yards and 2 receiving touchdowns. Like he was not the focal point of their offense. I know he missed a few games. He only played 13, so he missed 4 games, but he just didn't put up the numbers that you liked to see from him, especially with how good he was. So I'll probably take his teammate, and I'm going to take George Kittle here. I'm going to take my opinion, the second best tight end this past season, 11 touchdowns. Dude, and he's such a good run blocker. Any team would be happy to have George Kittle unless they're the Chiefs. And even the Chiefs would take him as a second tight end,
100%.
obviously. But I mean, he's just so good, man. Big fan of George Kittle and how he plays the game. He is laughing in defenders' face as he pancakes them.
I love when he's.
That's so entertaining. That's just so entertaining. So go ahead and give me George Kittle there at the second tight end off the board as we continue to go through the wideouts. Addison, back to backs.
Man, back to back, and the fact that this guy has fallen to me makes me grin. He's too small. He's too thin.
Yeah.
He only did it because he had Bryce Young throwing it to him.
Slim Reaper.
Yeah, he's slim reaping
Mac-
out of
Mac
him.
Jones
Oh, he did
and
have
Tua.
Mac Jones.
He had
And
Tua
Tua,
and Mac
yeah, that's
Jones
right. You're not
down.
wrong. That's on me. Even worse.
Wow.
Ooh,
We'll see.
Mac Jones is. Because he was Mac Jones as a QB when he went high.
And he was high. Yeah.
He basically just floated with the Heisman. Devontae Smith from Philly.
Great pick.
You could argue they're one as well. I mean, AJ Brown, obviously, but Devontae Smith just as
right
important.
there.
They're
Yeah.
both ones. I mean, they have 2 ones on that team. I love the connection he has with Jalen Hurts. He gets open again. It's the route tree. He literally can run any route and burn any corner
Yeah.
1-on-1, and he faces that a lot. And he's dominant. I mean, 95 catches on 136 targets, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. And you add AJ Brown stats all into that. It's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's basically scoring double-digit touchdowns. These 3 away. And 1,200 yards, though, with having a true as well, number 1 across for you. That's just very impressive. Got to take Devontae Smith there. And now, man, this gets really tough. Because do I take... Oh, man, because there's 2 more receivers in my mind that are just maybe a step ahead of the rest. Maybe a third guy if he was fully healthy. Or do I go lock up the tight end that I think is a little bit underrated? It might still be there. I'm gonna go with the tight end. Give me TJ Hawkinson over Andrews. I do like Andrews and the connection he has with Lamar. I mean, they are literally on a mind wave together. You
They
know what I
really
mean?
are,
Like
man.
when they're playing together, he's 1,000+ yards, 9 or 10 touchdowns, Andrews. But give me Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Detroit was able to fleece him away from Minnesota mid-season. Minnesota was, to fleece them away from Detroit, who honestly
pick.
nean him
They did
late.
need him.
You know what I
man. They
mean?
could have really used
They
him.
trade him. He goes, I go to a place that knows how to win,
Yeah.
and then Detroit goes on a run.
Yeah.
But I love Minnesota snagging him with everything around him too. Justin Jefferson, Cook in the backfield, and if they have Cousins throwing the ball, Hawkinson's going to put up numbers. I mean, 86 catches, 900 yards, 6 touchdowns. And that's also changing teams mid-season. You know, what I mean, having an impact immediately as well in Minnesota. So I got to go TJ Hawkinson.
I like that pick. That leaves me with 2 picks that I would like. Really 3 picks that I like. God, there's so much talent at this
I
position.
know.
At these positions,
know.
man, there's so much talent. I love it. I'm gonna take the guy who's only 23, played with a quarterback who had the worst year of his career, but now they got an offensive coach. Now they've got one of the best offensive minds in the NFL.
Okay.
This guy was a top 10 pick in the draft, I'm pretty sure. I think he went at 10. Give me Jerry Jeudy. Give me Judge Judy.
Oh, opposite. I thought it was somebody. Yeah.
Oh, no, I went the other direction. He's only, like I said, he's only 23 years old.
Yeah.
He's got good size at 6'1", $190.
Yeah.
This past season, 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns on 67 catches.
Yeah. No, I love it.
For his career, he's played 3 seasons, I believe. 157 catches, 2,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. You know,
If him and Russ get a connection, watch
he's
out.
going to be
Watch
dangerous.
out.
Like that's what we were talking about
Mhm.
earlier. It's like, oh man, look at this offense. Cameron Sutton or Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy together with Russ throwing the
I
ball.
mean,
it's
if
gonna be
Tim Patrick doesn't
unstoppable.
tear his
And
ACL,
Tim
you know
Patrick,
what I mean?
like-
Yeah.
Like Jerry Judy's still a stud, and he was definitely deserving of that top
Mhm.
10 pick. That
Drew
he-
Lock.
Talk about another guy that can run all the routes in the
Yeah,
all the
seriously.
routes. He is a route
Yeah.
runner. Yeah. Colin, you're back to backs.
Real quick, Jerry Jeudy might have my favorite interview moment ever.
What do you do?
Well, so he wears a Star of David because his nickname is Jew,
Yeah.
short for Judy. But so the reporter asked him about it, he goes, "Oh, but I'm not Jewish though."
I love it.
And it was just so
I
funny,
love it.
because he was trying not to be like.
Yeah, insensitive, you know what I mean?
But I'm
But
not Jewish though.
I will say, it's just talking about receiver funny moments. It wasn't an interview, but it was during the draft when CeeDee Lamb got drafted.
Oh,
And he's like, "Yeah, young set right back. And he's just grinning ear to ear, and she is pissed.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like,
It's
she
so
was trying to
funny.
take
I
his
know.
phone, man.
It is
Come on,
so funny to
dude,
say.
he
Yoink?
is.
Yeah, give me
He's
that.
like,
Yeah, it's so funny.
All right, so I got 2 picks back to back here.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with a criminally underrated receiver, and it hurts me to do
don't
this.
do it.
Get this man a quarterback,
Yeah,
please. Don't
damn you.
go out here and tank this
I'm on
season.
the
If so, just trade this guy,
Yeah,
please.
put him
for
on a
his sake,
team.
for his mental sake.
Yep.
I'm taking Terry McLaurin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were taking, man, for a second, because the offensive coach and the enemy.
Bieniemy being there.
Then I was like, oh,
yeah, those are the
quarterback,
two
yeah.
I was debating between was Judy and McLaurin.
Get him a freaking quarterback, please.
Tell him
Actually, don't. Please don't watch.
they're gonna
Trade
get
him
Caleb
somewhere
Williams
else.
next
Straight to
year.
the Bears.
Yeah, I don't need a quarterback with McLaurin. in line.
No, you don't.
Trade Terry to the Bears.
Second pick here.
That'd be huge.
I'm gonna go with some youth.
Okay.
I'm going offensive rookie of the year.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm going Garrett Wilson.
Something I need.
Talk about not having a quarterback, but still getting it done.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson.
that's a good pick. I had 3 guys in my mind when I took Judy. It was Judy, McLaurin, and then this guy.
No.
This guy is a number 2 on his team.
Okay, thank you.
I know it is already.
But only because I took his number 1 receiver with my second pick in this draft. This guy is hopefully going to be a Bear in the near future.
Oh, baby.
Give me T. Higgins here.
Wow.
Give me the boy T. Higgins, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns this year on only 74 catches. Played 16 of 17 games. Dude's super talented. He's pretty young, if I'm not mistaken. He's only 24. Yep, super young. I'm building a young team
I like it.
with Chase and Waddle and Judy and Higgins. Man, I'm building for the future. I like T. Higgins here. Maybe a slight reach, but I like him here. I like
what
T.
what
here.
pick is this here?
You're on 20 or Addison's pick 21.
Yeah, so at pick 20.
Pick 20. I'll take T.
T.
Higgins
Higgins easily a top.
because
20
I
pass
would
catcher.
think so. I would think so.
I also love their GM coming out and saying, just quit calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
It's
love
not
that.
going
Yeah, I
anywhere.
love that. No, I do love that.
It's smart. Why
Why
would
would you
you?
make someone else?
No,
better?
if you
Just
go
build
get,
something.
if Chase and Higgins can be your 2, I'm sorry, that's why Boyd's gone. That's why we talked about in the Bengals.
Yep.
Boyd's out
Boyd's
of
gotta
town.
go.
Sorry, you're not keeping Boyd over Higgins.
No
No.
chance. No shot.
I think Boyd said something along those lines. Like,
Yeah, he's like, he literally said, like, I see the writing on the wall. I know there's a chance I'm not here next year. It's like, yeah, because we
Yeah, we shaved
paid the better
13.9
dude.
mil. I'll cut you, man.
Easy.
Like, I'm sorry, dog.
Yeah,
You're
I
gone.
love that.
Hit the road. Yeah, I'll take T. Higgins at 20 there. Addison.
Man,
that's a-
I am grinning
I know, I
because
saw you fist bump him.
2 of these
Good
guys
pick.
that I was considering a step above the rest are still there. And one of them I feel like was needed on his team that he was traded from. Amari Cooper?
Yeah, I thought
Ooh,
Cooper
yeah.
too. I like
Amari
that pick.
Cooper dominates in Cleveland. 78 receptions, 132 targets, which there was a little bit better of a completion percentage, but we're going with beef brisket and
Yeah.
a really rusty Deshaun Watson to end the season, rusty John Bone. Over 1,100 yards, 9 touchdowns.
Mhm.
Cleveland's first time big time in a minute. You know, OBJ came and wasn't what they wanted. Jarvis Landry was there, really wasn't what they wanted. It didn't really produce the way he did in Miami. Amari Cooper comes in off of a trade and he produces. He says, "This is how you be a 1, even in this shithole team and with no quarterback. Show you how it's done." And man, just what could have been if the Cowboys were able to try to and got rid of him this year. You know what I mean?
Right.
Gone for it one more year with Amari and CD. But this next guy as well, he's just slipping, and I think it's situationally because of the team he's on. But give me DK
God,
Metcalf.
you dick.
He's just a freak, man. He's gonna chase you down if you're on the 10-yard line. You get a pick.
So
He's gonna chase you
athletic.
99 yards. And he's also gonna burn you deep if he needs to. I do love his physicality. I mean, you've seen the videos. We've seen the clips where he goes to block somebody and they're full speed into him and they just fall to the ground because he's a brick
so
shit
big.
house.
When they're trying to like hit him on.
Yeah,
it,
no,
they
exactly.
catch,
Yeah,
and
he just they fall. And he's just like, I'm standing up saying, "What's up, brother?" Yeah, give me DK. I mean, big season, especially with Geno. He did ball, but I feel like there was way less of an expectation for them this year. I mean, in our fantasy draft, him and Lockett are both just falling. You know what I
oh,
mean?
yeah.
The 7th
Yeah,
round.
got
DK, he was a top 15 receiver
Mhm.
at the end of the year.
Dude's a
Yeah.
stud.
Or right
He's a
around
stud,
15.
but I will take Cooper and Metcalf and run.
Yeah, it's a good pickup. I'm gonna stop the free fall of this guy. If fans of this team are watching this video, they are punching the air right now that we haven't drafted him yet. Debo Samuel's still on the board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going Debo Samuel.
Mhm.
Yes, he had a down season this past season compared to last year when all he did was 1,400 receiving yards and 6 touchdowns to go along with 365 rushing and 8 rushing touchdowns. 14 touchdowns and over 1,700 total yards last year.
Not that I
2 years
was
ago.
skipping on him because some of these guys like Hawkinson, I probably could have took DK and Hawkinson would probably still be there.
Mm.
But I just look at the injuries. When do they start adding up, and when does that take away carries? You know,
Yes.
and when does that take away
I mean,
that
he
fact?
had
Because
a lot less carries this
you
year.
want him. Obviously, the injury, but you get CMC. You have Elijah Mitchell back there. You got
Mhm.
multiple running backs.
It does work
Eventually,
out.
you look at Debo and go, "Hey, man, we want him on the field. We can use him in the backfield, but only 3 times a game instead of 10."
It was
You know
just
what I
a ton
mean?
of
But is that going to be the case though? Because now you can just look at it like shit. We're going to still use him this way and still use all these
And
motherfuckers this way. And good
CMC
luck.
and
Yeah,
Elijah
good luck.
Mitchell,
So,
man. Imagine you can run a triple option with
no, literally.
Mitchell and McCaffrey and bring Debo in motion. Like, ooh, no wonder Mr. Irrelevant played well on that
Yeah,
offense.
exactly. Yeah,
With
seriously.
one of the best offensive lines and the
And
second best
offensive
tight
line.
end.
Yeah,
and a great
exactly.
offensive line. Like, we could go play quarterback and do okay. I
Like
think.
as much as I love Purdy, I thought he played well.
He did play
I
very
think
well.
at the end of it, before he got hurt, those scramble plays,
Mhm.
none of them had bit him in the ass yet. But
No.
it's like you're starting to get a little bit carried
A
away.
little riskier,
That's
but-
not what your forte is and stuff. And it's like, well, maybe people are figuring it out a little bit, but
Mhm.
we'll see, man. And
Yeah.
we'll see if that when Purdy comes back, if they're able to sustain success. Because once film gets on you, brother,
You're in trouble.
and teams got a year to prep.
Yep, and they've seen it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Colin, back-to-back picks here. What are you taking? Still a lot of talent on the board.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a couple guys that are probably fuming that they're still on. the
That they're
board.
still on the board. Like, what? How
Do
you
I
not taking-"
continue my route of some youth as well? I'm gonna take another stud that
Yeah.
costed this team their first round pick this season and gave the Super Bowl runner up a top 10 pick.
Mhm. I mean, he was a beast, man. You're not thinking slant god, I'm sure. You're thinking his teammate.
Correct.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna take him here.
Okay.
I'm gonna take him on the wraparound. I just wanna take this
Okay.
guy first.
Sure.
How the board looks, I'm gonna take this guy first.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a number 2 as well.
Uh-huh.
Arguably the number 1 in my opinion.
Sure.
That could be a hot take.
Mhm.
Teammate went in this exact round as well. I'm taking Tyler Lockett,
Oh. Okay.
Mr. Receiver of the Moonball himself.
Yeah.
True, man. He was great on the deep balls.
He's out there getting bitch stabbed by Geno Smith. He's like, bro, I got a broken finger.
What do you want from
What do you
me?
want me to do?
And then he ended up
Sorry.
catching a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
later that game.
With a busted finger.
I still think he's fantastic. Shout out to all people as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Shout out
Shout
Elon
out
Ball,
Elon
especially
Ball,
Q.
also
Yeah.
someone.
Q is on. I would say Q is on the Mount Rushmore of all
Yeah,
balls.
yeah.
Top 4.
I mean, obviously the Mount Rushmore is huge though, because he's on the Harley
True.
on Mount
You're right.
Rushmore.
I mean, that's like a giant.
And it's red, so
explosive
smoke's coming
Smoke
out
coming out
too.
the back
And
of it.
somehow this Mount Rushmore has audio coming out of it. So you just
Illegal.
the whole time. You just push a button and Q revs it.
I'd go visit that shit.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, so Tyler Lockett, and then who's your wraparound pick?
Guy who's a little older.
Mhm.
Injury concerns for sure,
Uh-huh.
especially for Gates fantasy team.
Oh,
Fantastic players. Probably gonna get cut from this
yeah,
team.
probably will
okay.
get cut.
I'm thinking Keenan Allen. This
Good
is way
choice.
too low for
It's
Keenan
very
Allen.
low for Keenan Allen, man.
We'll see, man. I'm on the train that he hit that wall. That
Nice.
I think that last injury was finally.
See, I kind of think that too, but when he came back, he was.
I know. I just think he's lacking so much speed, and the older he gets, that route running is going to be gone too, man. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the long burst. Your short burst is running out. But you're not wrong. Like if the Bears went out and got Keenan Allen, I'd be going,
Would
oh,
be
easy
upset.
1,000 yards. You
I mean,
know.
dude,
Yeah.
he's so good. He got such a good route tree, and he's so.
And don't get me wrong, what a bad Keenan Allen, 800 yards. We're
Yeah.
obviously just talking about the guy that potentially could get 1,400 yards,
Right.
regressing. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I love that pick.
That's a good pick. That makes my pick really tough because there's someone on the board that we just got done talking about, but we can't take him. I don't know what that gritty. Who are you grittying for?
What do you mean you can't take him?
Well, no, like I don't know if we forgot about him
Yeah.
because we just did the AFC South talk and we're kind of sick of the AFC South. But Christian Kirk is still
I
on the
know,
board.
I got
man.
him right here, man.
Christian Kirk. I'm just gonna pull up his numbers really fast. They were fantastic. Ask my fantasy team.
Yeah, they were
1,100 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. I mean,
on 84.
we
Come on.
dogged this
Yeah.
dude for his contract.
Yeah,
We're like
everybody,
overpay,
man.
over. Everyone thought he was
dogging
over.
him. We're dogging the
We're dogging the
Jets.
Jags. I don't think it was a shot at Kirk.
No, you go get your money.
Yeah, you gotta get that money.
But I
Not
will.
nobody's pockets.
No, but at 26. 6 when he was the clear number 1 on his team, other than maybe Zay Jones. I mean, they're both
Late,
solid.
but Kirk was the one over the
I mean,
year.
number
You know what I
wise,
mean?
Kirk
Yeah,
definitely had the
100%.
numbers for sure. But give me Christian Kirk there. I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I had Kirk written down as well, because if he was there, I was definitely snagging him.
So yeah, these are your last 2 picks here.
Last 2 picks, and I think they're gonna be great picks,
All right.
tremendous picks.
Tremendous.
The greatest.
The
pick.
greatest
greatest
picks.
picks.
Oh, that's right.
It's a greedy. What I pick.
The gritty.
Oh
Good.
man,
My guy.
there's 2 guys, and one of them, there's 3 guys really, and the third guy is Mark Andrews, and I can't lie, I'm cutting him out strictly because Sage is a Ravens fan. So he's not getting picked on
No,
my big
not
board.
top 30 pass catchers. So.
Just nah. But this guy is first guy, a little bit of an injury history question mark there. But man, he's Mr. 1K's sidekick. Arguably just as good when healthy. Chris Godwin. Quarterback situation is interesting with Kyle Trask. Yikes.
Yikes.
Maybe they're trying to get rid of one of them. Who knows? Maybe the Bears are calling.
Mhm.
But if Godwin's healthy, man, while on the field, he's insane.
Yeah.
Guy played 15 games, over 1,000 yards. Only had 3 touchdowns. Again, touchdowns are such a weird stat. I mean, 2 years ago, he had like 10 plus. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Do I take my boy? I think I'm going to take my boy. He's not even really my boy. He's Keenan Allen's boy. Maybe not for long. I'm going Mike Williams. Just deep ball, go up and get a guy. Anybody one-on-one, I really like his odds in the league.
Same.
Just straight up anybody. I don't care if it's soft.
He's an elite athlete.
Yeah, if it's a one-on-one jump ball, give me Mike Williams as an opportunity to go get it. And I'm going to run with Godwin and Williams.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Those are good picks. I'm continuing my youth movement. Although I didn't realize this guy was this young still. Like, I feel like he's been constantly good. He had, before this past season, he had 3 straight years of 1,100 yards.
I know.
This past season, he had only 888 yards and 7 touchdowns. You want to talk about get this man a
And he's
quarterback?
25.
No.
Yeah, he's only
Wait.
25. You want to talk about get this poor man a quarterback?
Carolina.
Receiver, DJ Moore with my last
He's been
pick.
traded to the Bears.
I wanted DJ.
25. How is this dude only 25 years old?
Number 9 and DJ Moore for 1.
Well, that would actually be an awesome trade. I would love that for the Bears. Number 9 and DJ Moore for pick number 1. Although
What's his contract look like?
DJ Moore, I think he just completed his 5th year. Hang on, I'll tell you. I don't know
So I
how
guess that
bad
would
it
influence
is.
how I
That
think
would
about
that would influence it. But man, he's so good. Like I said, he had 1,100 yards,
Oh,
3
you're
straight
such a dick.
seasons. I
Such a dick.
love it when I get to take your picks. It makes me so happy. Let's see here. Let's pull up the spot track on his current contract. He just signed it.
Oh yeah, you traded for this guy.
3-year extension, only 61 million total dollars, barely over 21 mil a year. 41 of it was guaranteed. His cap hit for the next 2 seasons is 20 and 20. That's it. For DJ Moore with 25 years old, he can then oh yeah. All day, DJ Moore. Thank you very much. Colin, bring us home on the wide receiver tight end draft, and then we're gonna take a 5-minute intermission.
All right, this guy talked about my last turnaround. I'm taking him this time around. I'm taking Chris Olave.
Olave, I like that.
I already did all my explaining the last round, and then I didn't take him. So I'm taking him here.
I like
at
that.
30.
I like that pick. There's a ton of there's so much talent this wide receiver tight end position, and guys like just looking at this, guys we didn't talk about or take Deontay Johnson, number 1 in Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Tyler Boyd, very, very good receiver in Cincinnati. He's a 3 though, so are you really gonna take him? Calvin Ridley, who we're continuing to forget about, a stud receiver. I mean, we've got Gabriel Davis, who was supposed to come back and have a real good year. You did take Garrett Wilson, so he's off the board. Mike Williams was taken. We didn't talk about Portland Sutton. He didn't get drafted. We didn't talk about Darnell Mooney. Right, man. All these baskets with the Bears. I mean, Noah Brown. Yeah, it's a lot of what a stud. We can talk about Curtis Samuel, John Dotson, Brandon Ayuk went over 1,000 yards. I mean, there's a ton. Allen Robinson. Just kidding. Cedric Wilson. Not kidding.